let's talk about andamento a little bit. If you look up andamento in Google Translate, Italian to English, it will tell you trend or a trend. That makes sense to me. Mosaically, when you think of your andamento being how it goes, how it moves, the movement of it. So we're looking at a drawing of some andamento. The flow that I want for this project that I've been talking about, paths taken, I've defined with these andamento lines. This is how I want it to go, how I want it to move. There are a lot of ways to express this kind of movement, this trend, this andamento. And when I've talked about it previously, I've told you that I want to express that andamento by cutting and laying my pieces in what I'm going to call here kind of a classical or refined approach. This is a particular technical skill that I just want to improve upon. And so I'm going to do a little more of it after just finishing this piece, and I'm going to try to do better. So I'm going to cut and lay my pieces in this fashion, a similar fashion, in order to express this andamento. Here, I just want to talk about this a little bit. This is a little sample I did with some materials I had to experiment with the shading with a larger project in mind, which I'll show you in a minute. What is the andamento here? It's a radiating from this center low point out. I have supported this andamento, expressed this andamento in two ways, how I've cut and laid the pieces, and also with some shading. So your andamento can be expressed. There's not a singular way to express it, is what I'm trying to say. I think I could have just used these darkest colors all over, and by cutting and laying my pieces in the right way, I could have expressed that radiation. Inversely, I could have used crazy paving or some kind of more field type of a cutting and laying approach, but with sensitive shading, you would have seen that radiation. So there are multiple ways to think about expressing the andamento that you want, and there are also multiple ways to sabotage your andamento. So that's why you really have to think of these things. If I were to use crazy paving here, yes, I could have expressed the irradiation, but I can express it even better, I think, by being careful about how I cut and lay the pieces, if that's the look I want. So these are just things to keep in mind when you choose your andamento, when you choose how you want to express and support that andamento. And of course, why you want to do it this way versus that way. These are questions, at least, that must be asked. So that little radiating piece was for this large mosaic, which you saw in a previous video. And I just want to show you this cutting and laying here is more of that field type. It could be crazy paving, but I'm doing this instead. It's just a kind of a field type of background. But from this point, it's going to radiate out and around a little bit, not the extent to which I showed in that little sample, just a little bit with color. I'm going to achieve a little bit of radiation, a movement outward through color. It's going to get a little bit lighter. It won't be the way I'm cutting and laying the pieces, which give it more of a kind of a solid sense of not movement. But I'm going to express a little bit of radiating out through color. So that's my talk this morning, and I do invite comments and ideas and ways to express it, ways to help talk about it. But that's what I've got today on andamento. So until next time.